Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for stopping by and clicking on my video. And most of all, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. It is free and you get to see more of me and I get to really interact with more of you guys, and you can help build the BeautiiBee family. So make sure you guys hit that good subscribe button down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So as you can tell by today, we're going to be talking about the Makeup Geek and collab with Makeup Geek. What? The Morphe and collab with Kathleen eyeshadow palette. Now I've had this palette for over a month now. I did purchase it maybe a week or two after it released, and I just didn't know what to film for you guys. Now this palette is very neutral, so I didn't want to do like just a neutral look. I always do those for you guys, and I do them like every day in my everyday life. I do a neutral look, and I really didn't want to do that. So when I saw these two greens down here, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I actually love green eyeshadow. I did do a green like smoky eye a really long time ago. Last year actually, using the Kat Von D Holiday 2015 palette, but I just really loved these two green shades. So I did create this really neutral muted green look for you guys. I even have on a green liquid lipstick. This is actually one of my favorite lip colors for fall, is Trouble by Lime Crime, and I did this really muted green look for you guys, and I absolutely love it. And I'm just gonna give you guys my thoughts on this palette. So first of all, this is what the packaging looks like. As most of you may know, the packaging is different. So it's like it's a black, really flimsy cardboard, and it just says Morphe x Kathleen Lights in red screen print along the front, and then you get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 shades in here, and they are really neutral. I did watch Kathleen Light's video when she did release and do swatches of this palette, and she said because she's a really neutral girl, so that's why she went with a neutral palette. And I don't remember why she did this pop of green, but I love that she did. I love that green. It's actually in my inner corner today. When I first purchased this palette, the only shade that I was using was this shade right here, which is a really nice muted, like it's like a beautiful like burnt orangey brown. Like I absolutely love that shade. I have two other shadows like it. It reminds me of, if you are familiar with Uninterrupted by MAC or Camel by Bobbi Brown, it's more in that family, and I believe Makeup Geek has a shade that's similar. I don't remember, but it's just a beautiful like mustardy brown shade for women of color. That is a perfect staple transition shade, whether you're doing a pop of color, neutral, whatever, or even if you just want to throw it in your crease on like a no makeup day. It'll really give your eyes like some depth. That is a beautiful shade for women of color. And this palette is really nice. I love the pigmentation. I don't care what anyone says. I swear Morphe switched their formula. I've always liked Morphe's eyeshadows. I've never been in love with them like I have been lately, like with this palette, the little palettes. And it's making me really, I haven't purchased a Morphe palette in over a year, but it's really, other than these of course, I'm in like their 35 count palettes. I haven't purchased any of those for over a year, and now I'm thinking maybe I should, because I swear they switched their formula. But this is what the palette looks like up close. And it's a really beautiful palette. And then real quick, this is what the box looks like when you purchase it. It just says Kathleen Lights palette, Morphe, and it has a little hanging light bulbs. It's just a plastic case, and then it has her picture on the back with a little quote, and it does have the ingredients in here. So it just says 22.5 grams overall, and you get 0.79 ounces of product, which is pretty good for an eyeshadow. Is that correct? I'm assuming that's how much product you get in each shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this palette, starting from the left to right, first row, second row, third row. So we're gonna do the first row. So as I said, this is the first row. So you have This is the first row of shades. There you go. Really pigmented. And I'm not using any primer or anything because I want you guys to see the real like payoff. And that is the second row. Oh, I love that berry shade. Which one was that? This berry shade is really, really pretty. I really need to use that. And these is the second row. Sorry these swatches aren't like boom, boom, bam, but I really don't think I can do swatches on my arms since I'm like, whatever. So now, lastly, we're gonna do the third row. Look at that green. Oh! And we're not gonna swatch the black because you all know what a matte black looks like. So these are the colors in the third row. This is the third row. So it's $14.99 or $14.95. I definitely recommend this palette, you guys. Like, it's so beautiful. You get 15 shades, 15 for $14.95. That's like almost $1 a shade, or maybe a little less than $1 a shade. These are amazing. Now, this whole palette is not custom to Kathleen Lights. Some of these shades are Morphe single shell that they already carry. Like, I believe this one, she said, is a shade that Morphe already carries. I think this one is custom to her palette. And it's like a couple other ones that are custom to, I think 4 or 5 are custom to her, maybe even 9. I don't remember, but some of these shades are custom to her. Some of them are already sold as Morphe singles, but I definitely recommend this palette. So I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna get on to the tutorial. I hope you guys love this muted green look that I filmed for you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Alright guys, so just gonna jump right in and get started. So I'm gonna first go in with the Kathleen Lights and Collab with Makeup Geek eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to take my Sigma E40 brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here, and it's like a really like charcoal gray shade, and I'm just gonna lightly dab my brush into that shade, and I'm gonna brush this as like a transitional shade. So anywhere I would normally go in with my transition shade, I'm gonna go in with this shade. To grab my Kat Von D Metal Matte eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to go into this shade here, which is called Moss. This is like the only matte green shadow I own, and I'm going to use the Morphe M441 brush, and it's only dirty because I used it for this eye, and I love this for like really like dragging colors into the crease. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into Moss, which is a really pigmented green shade, and I'm going to just blend this into the crease. And from here, I'm just gonna go back and forth between Moss from the Kat Von D palette and that gray shade we use from the Kathleen Lights palette. I'm gonna just go back and forth between those two shades. It's really making sure it's really blended and nice and blown out. I love this palette, you guys. It's an amazing eyeshadow palette. The pigmentation is phenomenal, and I've actually had this palette for a while and just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with this palette. So that's why it took me so long to get the tutorial out to you guys. So now that that's all blended, I'm gonna go back into the Kathleen Lights palette, and I'm gonna go into this really deep olive shade, When I saw this shade, I love it from the moment I saw it. I'm gonna pack that onto my brush, and I'm actually gonna spray with a little bit of setting spray because when I did this eye, I tried to go in without the setting spray and it just didn't pop enough for me. So I'm went in with the setting spray, and that's how I got it to be a tad bit brighter. It is really pigmented anyway, but I needed like that oomph of from the shadow. So then I'm gonna go in and pat that shade on my lid. And then I'm gonna go back in with that Morphe brush, back in with Moss, and I'm just gonna drag it a little bit throughout the crease to really tie in the green. Taking that gray shade and just lifting it up towards my brow bone a little bit more. Then I'm going to take the black shade in this palette, and the trick I'm about to do, I learned last night watching one of J Kissa's YouTube videos. So I'm gonna take the matte black. I should have been doing this with a flatter brush, but this is what I have at the moment. So I'm gonna take that matte black, and I really wanna pop it into my outer V, but keep it there. I don't wanna blend it into my crease, just in the outer V. So this is a trick that I learned from J Kissa last night and learned for tutorials. So I'm gonna pop it where I want it, keep my eye open, and just do small circular motions. And I tried it today when I did this eye, and it really did work. If you want to keep that black and that controlled, any shadow in a nice controlled spot. I have a really hard time with black eyeshadow. I always end up getting it like into my crease, since you know I got a smoky, and it just doesn't work. And this works. So thank you to J Kissa. So now I'm gonna take this brown shade here. It's like more of a reddish brown, and I'm gonna take my Anastasia Beverly Hills double-ended brush, and I'm just gonna run that shade along my lower lash line just to really tie the look together. I can't even talk today, you guys. Tie the look together. Because I didn't want it to look like a smoky eye, you know? And I figured doing this will keep it neutral, if that makes any sense. So now I'm gonna take this shade that, just like me, I know all of you was just like, damn. It's this really vivid green. Like when I first saw that shade, I was like, girl. So I'm gonna pop the blender side of that brush into that very vivid, bright, shimmery green, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop that into my inner corner and just drag it out a little bit. So now I'm just gonna take any flat brush that I have. I'm gonna go into the shade Suede, which is right here from the Kat Von D palette, and I'm gonna go ahead and use that as my brow highlight. It's a really muted, like, tan shade. I like it for a brow highlight when I'm doing like really neutral looks, or I'm doing like colors and I don't want my brow highlight to be like too much. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take my Sephora Wing liquid liner that you guys are probably sick of seeing me use. If you guys know of a good liquid liner, let me know down below. This is like my favorite. I do have other liners that I love. Like I love my Tarte double-ended one. You guys have seen me use that before. I just ran out of my NYC liquid liner. I'm probably gonna go buy it, and I totally forgot to buy a new one. I'm gonna repurchase that. But if you guys know any good liquid liners, like let me know so that I can like venture out. Wing line on this side is a little jank, but we're gonna ignore that together, okay? Now I'm gonna go in with my Kiss So Wispy O2 lashes. I've talked about these in our favorites. I love these lashes. They're like $4, like $3 or $4, and they're so wispy and I love them. So I'm gonna have pop these on off camera and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna go in with my highlight, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Geek. I'm going to be using my Violet Voss highlighting palette and the shade Unicorn Luster. I probably should have used my Makeup Geek one with Kathleen things, but whatever. Well, actually, this has been my favorite highlighter lately, so that's the real reason why I picked this one up. Yes, honey. And I'm using my Morphe M501. Yes. For my lips, I'm going to use Trouble by Lime Crime, which is this beautiful matte green. I love this lipstick for the fall.